Hey everyone, welcome back to module number 5. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. And this session I'm really excited for because I'm going to have a chance to break down what I did and why I did it. So if you watched yesterday, we spent about 2 hours going through this. And I hope you guys like that. I got some amazing feedback from tons of people, which was really fun. So this right here is the goal. This is the secret. This is the big thing you got to understand. And then I actually did it. So I did it through this webinar right here, which you guys all saw. And so I'm going to kind of walk you guys through what I did and why I did, and how these pieces correlated into this, and which correlated into a whole bunch of people giving us money, which correlated into us being able to serve a whole bunch more people. So that's kind of the game plan. But first, Stephen ran an Ask campaign asking all of you guys, what were your questions from yesterday, and what was the biggest thing? And what's interesting is we had a very common question coming up over and over and over and over and over again. So it's probably your question. If not yours, it's the guy sitting next to you or whoever. But this is one we had a lot, and so I want to kind of address it up front, so that way there's no barriers. I know some of you guys have these barriers, and like, well, this won't work for me. I remember when I first got into this business, I went to a Dan Kennedy event, and I showed up, and there's like 1,500 people in this room, and they had these big, huge banners on the side that said, "This won't work for my business." And I was like, that's confusing. Why would they post that on their walls? And later I found out that it was like Dan Kennedy making fun of everybody who ever says that. Because he would teach them something, they're like, oh, that's cool, but that won't work for my business. Yeah, I see how that worked for yours, Dan, but it doesn't work for my business. And so he'd just make fun of everyone, saying, look, you guys, you have to think. I'm giving you the art, I'm giving you the science. Here's the science of how this works. This is human psychology, what gets people to give you money. And then I showed you how to do it in one vertical. I showed you how to do it to sell a coaching program yesterday. You've seen me use it to sell software. I've used it to sell supplements. I've used it to sell everything on planet Earth. But I'm not going to go and do 40 webinars this weekend. You've got to take science and be, okay, how does this work for me? What's the art for me? Like, how do I tweak this and change it so it'll actually work for me? Okay? So that's on you. Okay? If you come to Two Cobble Club coaching, that's what we'll kind of help you with and help you figure out how to do that. But this works for anything. This is human psychology. It's not like, oh, that's how you sell info products, Russell. No. Well, yes, but also no. You sell info products that way, but I sell everything this way. This is how I sell my wife to go to the movies I want to go to. This is how I sell my friends on where we're going to go to lunch. This is how I sell everything in the world that I sell is based on this process right here, over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple examples real quick off the top of my head. It's kind of early for me, so hopefully my mind is sharp enough to throw these. But Dave and these guys have got a couple of examples. So I'm going to throw some of these in here. I'm going to pretend like I am you in your business. And I'm not going to do it for every single business and every single industry known to man. That's your job to kind of figure it out. But I want you to understand that this will work for your business. It works for B2B. It works for supplements. It works for coaching. It works for info products. It works for membership sites. It works for if you're selling carpet, if you run a golf course, if whatever it is you have, this process will work. I promise you that. I don't think there's any product I can think of that it wouldn't work for. There's probably one, but I don't know what it is. So, all right. Do you want to give me one or two, and I can see what we can do?
Let's go with the service as far as carpet cleaner.
Okay, services as far as carpet cleaner. So I'm going to pretend like I am a carpet cleaner and I run a carpet cleaning company, and I want clean carpets, and I am going to do a presentation to a bunch of people. So I can go and I can have flyers one-on-one and hope to get customers, or I can do something really, really cool and get a bunch of people in the room and try to present to them. Okay, now, before I actually try to fake pitch a carpet cleaning service, what I want to do is I want to tell you guys a story. This is Russell slipping in a backstory real quick. So I want to tell you guys a story about my friend Chad Woolner, who is a chiropractor. I talked about him yesterday, I think, as well, but it's interesting. So Chad is a chiropractor. How do most chiropractors do their business, right? They have ads and flyers, and they try to get people to come in, referrals. And so Chad was doing that. He was doing all sorts of stuff. He's doing like the traditional thing. And then I don't know if he came up with his own or seeing what else if I do, but basically I was like, get a bunch of people in the room and sell like 50 people at once instead of one. Like, that's way easier. So he started doing these events, and he would bring people in. One of them, this is, again, here's an idea, but you got to use your mind how this could work for your business. I got an email from him. I'm on his chiropractic local list here, and he was like, hey, this is right when the new Star Wars came out, and he's like, I rented out the whole theater for all my customers, or all my clients, whatever doctors call their people. For all my clients, I want you to come and bring all your friends, and we're going to watch Star Wars together. It's free. It's all on me. It's going to be amazing. I was like, dude, why are you doing that? He's like, just watch this. So I'm like, all right. So we go to the movie. I show up. I bring my kids. I bring some of my friends. Everyone else brought their kids and their friends. I come in this theater, and the whole theater is completely packed. 200 or 300 people sitting in this theater. And Chad walks in, Dr. Woolner walks in, and he's like, "Hey guys, hope you enjoy the movie. This is, we did this from our company, and I hope you guys love it." Pushes play. Everyone watches the movie. Movie ends. Boom, he stops, and there's bouncers at the door. No, I'm just kidding. There should have been, but there was he stops and he gets back on stage and says, "Hey guys, real quick, I'm gonna give you guys a quick presentation." And he quickly went through something like this, made an offer for them, and signed up 40 or 50 patients at one time. Boom. That would take an average, a normal chiropractor how long to do that, right? So I don't care what you're doing. If I'm in a service business, I'm trying to think, I don't want to sell one-to-one. One-to-one sucks. It takes forever, and it's so inefficient, and then you can't do your thing at the same time. So how do I get a lot of people together? Do I get them in a room? Do I get them on a webinar, or telesummit, whatever that is? You can do it in any business, okay? You just got to be creative and think through it a little bit, right? Okay, so let's say I'm a carpet cleaner, and I have got to get people to become my clients, right? So the first thing I'm going to think about is how are every other carpet cleaning company out there doing it, right? They're all running little ads. They have those mailers that are in the value packs, it was called, the value pack mailers, things like that. And put them out there. And they're all saying the same thing, right? They're all fighting on price. We'll do a room for free, blah, blah, all that kind of crap. So I would come back and I would think, okay, right now I'm a carpet cleaner. What was the reason why I became a carpet cleaner? That's my first question. There's probably a reason, right? You just wake up one day sweet, I want to be a carpet cleaner. That's going to be awesome. Or was your dad a carpet cleaner? Did you know someone that was? Were you in financial issues? What was the story? There's a reason why you became a carpet cleaner. So what was that story? I told this during the virtual book tour when Tony Robbins was interviewing me. He was asking me, what do you think the future of selling is? And I said, and I told, it's funny, so Chad, thank you, I'm using your examples a whole bunch today. But I told the story about Dr. Woolner. So he was, when I first met him, he was out there selling people logically about spinal readjustment and all these techno-babble things that chiropractors typically do, right? And I was like, dude, that's what every single chiropractor says. It's boring, it's annoying, it's whatever, right? And I was like, why did you become a chiropractor? There's got to be there's a reason why you became a chiropractor. What was that story? And first talked about the money and the fact it's Fridays off. I'm like, no, that's crap. Nobody really cares about it. You're not going to be going out there with an emotional video, hey guys, this is the deal. I want to be a chiropractor because I want to be able to take Fridays off and I want to make a lot of money. Nobody cares, right? I was like, what's the real reason you became a chiropractor? Why did you pick that as your major in college? Go back. Sometimes you have to go deep. What was the reason that you did this? What was that? And he kept going back. Finally, he was like, the real reason is I was actually in dental school. And I was going through dental school, and I was loving it. I wanted to be a dentist. And then I found my wife. We got married, and then one day she got in a car wreck. Boom. And she hurt her back really, really bad. And so she actually went to medical doctors. She went to all these different things. And finally, the fourth, fifth thing, they went to a chiropractor. The chiropractor adjusted her and got her out of pain. And he was like, when I saw my wife go from this, the pain she was in, and saw what he did with his hands to get her out of pain, I realized that's what I want to do with my life. So I switched my major from being a dentist to being a chiropractor, and that's why I do what I do, because I want to help people. I want to get people out of pain, just like that person got my wife out of pain. And when he told me that story, I got chills. I was like, dude, that's your story. Share that. So he's like, well, how do I share that? So we got a video camera, and he told that story, put it out there, and boom, all of a sudden, guess what happened? People started emotionally connecting with him as a chiropractor. Okay? Here in Boise, there's literally 3 chiropractors in every single block. They're everywhere. And right now, people will drive past 5 or 6 or 7 of them to get to him because they have an emotional connection. They connect with him, right? So for you, the reason why they're going to pick you versus every other carpet cleaner on planet Earth, because right now, as a carpet cleaner, you're a commodity. There's a bunch of them. When I got my carpet cleans open phone book flipped around, that guy called it. That's it. You're a commodity. Nobody cares about you. You have to understand that because right now you are doing this. You're selling through Technobabble, selling through ads, doing all this kind of crap that everybody else is doing. If you want to connect with people, you got to step back, figure out what was the reason you got into this, and share that story. That will get people to connect with you, right? So that's my first thing, and I'm going to tell my origin story. So if I get a bunch of people in the room, or if I'm at their doorstep, or if I put this presentation on a DVD and send it to them, or if I have it online, I'm driving Facebook ads to it, first thing is I'm going to tell my origin story, right? And the origin story is going to get them to connect with me. And in that origin story, there's a reason, Dr. Woolner, when he tells his origin story about chiropractic, he's telling this emotional connecting story, right? But at the same time, he's trying to knock down this big domino of people that are in back pain, right? His wife went to a doctor, went to an acupuncturist, went to all these different things, nothing worked, until chiropractic. Okay, he's doing this, telling this story to knock down the big domino. Boom, right? And so that's number one. Now again, sometimes just telling your origin story will be enough to get somebody to come to you. Okay, and the easier the transaction, the less deep you have to go, right? Like if I'm trying to pitch somebody on going to a movie with me, I'm going to tell a story about why I think we should go to this movie, and that'll typically be enough to push them over. I don't have to be like, tell that and then like, okay, let me go to the vehicle and the internally, like the simpler the sell, the easier it is to get to convince somebody. And so a lot of times one story will close the deal for you, okay? So again, depending on what you're selling, just kind of think through that. That's why typically if I'm selling like something lower ticket, like a free plus shipping book, right? Or if I'm selling a 27 or 37 or like something that's lower ticket, a lot of times I'm just telling one really good Epiphany Bridge story and then closing the deal. If I'm shifting and transitioning something that's $100, $300, $500, $1,000, $2,000, I'm shifting it more to a more formal, longer presentation that needs to be able to knock down more of the things. Because the more expensive it is, the more complicated the sell is, the more of these pillars can come in the way they got to chop down and be able to get through, right? So if I was a carpet cleaner, I might make just a video of this telling my Epiphany Bridge story about that and getting people to understand. Now, so that'd be number one, right? Now let's say I'm trying to make a more complex sell. Let's say I'm a smart carpet cleaner. I don't just want to clean carpets once, but I want to clean them a whole bunch of times. In fact, this is so funny. I hope he's not listening. Actually, I hope he is listening. This will actually help you. So we, at our old house, we needed a carpet cleaner. And so we went on, I think it was Groupon at the time, and there was a carpet cleaning offer. We're like, oh, sweet. So we did the discount thing, right? And he came to clean our house. And he was all like, meh, like all upset. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, I got screwed in this deal. Like, I'm cleaning his carpets at half off and blah, blah, all these things, right? And the guy obviously has no idea about business. Because I'm like, dude, you just got us as a lead. Like, we'll probably use you again in the future. And he cleaned the carpet. In the end, I was like, hey, do you have any kind of like monthly service? You can come back and like do this every single month or like, you know, twice a year or something? He's like, no. I'm like, okay. And then he left. I was like, well, that guy's dumb. I just asked him if he'd come every single month, and he said no. Okay. And then fast forward, like a year later, we moved into our new home. And our new home is large. There's a lot of carpet space. It's 11,000 square foot home, so there's a lot of stuff, right? So we moved in. I called him. I was like, because he's the only carpet cleaner I knew. So I'm like, hey man, can you come clean my carpets? He's like, oh sure. So we came, and I asked him, I was like, so how'd that Groupon deal end up working out for you? He's like, oh, it was horrible, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, did you not just realize I just paid you to clean 11,000 square feet of carpet because of the Groupon deal a year ago? Like, you missed the point, right? So anyway, so he comes through this thing, and he's cleaning the whole house, and it took him like 2 or 3 days, and every day he's like sweating like crazy, and he's working his butt off. And it's funny because at the end of it, I was like, hey, so thanks, that was awesome. I'm like, do you have anything, like, I've got 5 kids, they're like running around making a mess, like, can you come every like month or every 3 months, or something, and just like clean this crap for me? And he was like, no, I don't have anything set up like that. Just call me if you want me to come back. And I'm like, I want you to come on autopilot once every quarter and just clean everything. And he's like, oh, we don't have anything like that. And I was just like, anyway, killing me, right? So if I was a carpet cleaner, first off, you guys start thinking more about business. Read the .com Secrets book, understand value ladders, a bunch of other things, because people want to give you money, right? Any business you're in. So they want to give you money. So the first thing I do is the origin story to help them understand you need to clean carpets. Number 2, if you're listening to all the trainings through the Executive MasterClass, carpet cleaning is a product, right? It's a commodity. I can call any dude who's going to clean my carpet. If you're a smart carpet cleaner, you're going to turn this into an offer. All right, here's the offer, Russell. I'm going to come and clean your carpets today, and then every month I'm going to have someone on my team come back. We're just going to come, knock on your door the first of every single month. We're going to spot check. You tell us 3 spots in your house that are the dirtiest, and we're going to come in, we're going to spot check those 3 things, and once every single quarter, we're going to come in and do a deep clean, and then we also, I know you don't have dogs or cats, but maybe the people before, so we're going to wrap the cat urine thing, because you don't want cat urine that's probably seeped somewhere in the thing, and we're going to do a cat urine spray, and then we're going to do this, and like, he turns this thing into an offer, right? Now I've got all sorts of different things, and I'm like that's something, now shifted from whatever the $100 per room commodity is into $5,000 package, $10,000 a year, whatever that might be that I would pay for, right? So now it's shifted from a product to an actual offer. Again, all these things we're talking about, you guys, are all layering from day 1 to day 2 to day 3. I hope you guys are seeing this. Like, so whatever it is, and some of you guys are saying, Russell, I'm not a carpet cleaner. I wish I was a carpet cleaner because I can make an offer now. Like, it works for your business. You just have to think. Okay? I do chiropractic adjustments. No, you don't. You freaking do naturopathic healing, and you're doing the adjustments plus massages plus supplements plus everything you're doing. You need to turn it from a product into an offer. Uncommoditize your business. Okay? All you B2Bs and all you service providers, things like that. Like, when you understand this, it'll shift everything. I would have paid that carpet cleaner 10 times what he'd charge me if he would just take my freaking money. But he won't, because he won't shift from a product and a commodity into an actual offer. Okay, so the carpet cleaner dude makes an actual offer. So here, the origin story he tells me is why I became a carpet cleaner. And also I have connection. I realized, wow, I do need to clean my carpets, because maybe his story was like, my kids got sick, and they found out it was because they were walking around in our carpet. It hadn't been cleaned 6 years. And the carpet cleaning guy came and did this like bug testing in our house and found out there was like 1.5 inches deep of like fungus and mites and all this crap I didn't even know was in my carpets. Like carpets, when you think about it, are the most disgusting thing in the world. So he came and he cleaned my carpets, he stripped all this stuff out, and my kids got healthy. Like they weren't sick anymore. And I was like, holy crap, like I need to be doing this for other people. Like carpet cleaning is the greatest thing in the world. So I tell the origin story, and suddenly I'm like, whoa, this dude believes in carpet cleaning. Second off, he's freaked me out about my carpets. There's all this crap growing in. They're like, what am I going to do now? Right? They start freaking out about it. And now it's coming back to like, okay, the vehicle. So the thing I'm trying to put them into, so the new opportunity I'm putting them into, carpet cleaning is not the new opportunity. That's the commodity, right? I'm basically saying, and most people's like, they're not even in any vehicle at all. But if I'm coming the first time, like I'm cleaning a carpet, but the vehicle I want to put you in is, I want to make sure you understand that your carpets continue to get dirty. Your kids have snot coming out of their face all the time, right? People are walking, they don't take their shoes off. Think they're out there in the grass, stepping on dog crap. They're at the mall, stepping on other people's dog crap. They're like everywhere, and they come and they step on your carpet. All that stuff's falling into the thing. Like, it's so disgusting. And so like, every time you go on the weekend, you come home, you are bringing every single person's feces and crap and their cats and their dogs. And like, even if you don't have that stuff in your house, you're bringing it in if you're wearing shoes. Do you guys wear shoes? I think everyone wears shoes, right? Okay, then you are bringing that crap into your carpet. So if I clean your carpets once, that's nice. We'll get rid of the crap and you'll feel a little bit better. But in 3 months from now, it's back. Okay? And so I want to make sure like this vehicle I'm putting into is continually, is health, is continually keeping you clean. So this is this vehicle right here, right? And so I'm telling this story right here. I'm trying to get in the vehicle of like a consistent cleaning. So that story I just told you about the mall and the crap and all this stuff, like that's the story I told right here, helping me understand like, wow, I don't just need carpet cleaning. I believe I need carpet cleaning, but I need it like every 3 months or even more. Like, it'd be awesome if someone comes spot check me once a month and just clean all the weird stuff when my kid puked or sneezed or whatever, right? So that's cool. And then you come back and it's like the internal, like, okay, so this carpet cleaner, do I need my carpets clean? Do I need him doing this like every single month? I told that story. Now it's like, but it's expensive. I can't afford carpet cleaning. Like, it's expensive, right? That's their internal fear. I can't afford it. You can't afford carpet cleaning? All right, well, how many times did you go to the hospital last year for your kids? How much did you spend in vitamins and supplements? How many sick days did you have from the office last week? Okay, or last year? You had 3 sick days. What do you get paid an hour? Do you realize you lost like $400 just from sick days? Because this stuff, like, if you're sick, it's because of your carpet. Do you guys understand this? It's not because of the pollen, or the thing in the air. Like, everyone's afraid that someone's going to sneeze and it's going to float in the air. Okay, that's disgusting, right? But what's more disgusting is someone sneezed, and then more people, like 500 people sneezed at the mall. It all eventually settles to the ground, and you're stepping on it, and you're not just bringing your crap, like, you're bringing like 30, 40 people sneezes on your shoes, and then you step on your carpet, and that's seriously, like, that's, like, I don't know how you cannot afford this. Like, you get your sick days back, your kids are in school, they're happy, they're healthy, you're able to have more energy. Like, I don't know about you, but like, what's more energy? Like, if you had more energy, would you feel better? Would you have, like, yes, you would, right? Okay, so I put all the internals. You guys are all laughing at me back here. Anyway, I'm going to start a carpet cleaning industry company now, all right? So there's the internal. It's like, crap, I have to buy this stuff. Like, if I don't pay this guy, like, my entire family is going to die probably. Okay, so you tell the story there. Then number 3, transition to the external. So for them, what's the external things? Like, what else could possibly be keeping them from doing this, right? Well, I don't even know. I'd have to think about this for a little bit more. So the external potentially could be, internals that they don't think they can afford it. External could be that their mom and other people are going to judge them. If you read the Expert Secrets books all about status, right? It's like, oh, I have carpet cleaner come to my house once a quarter. My mom's going to think that I'm wasting my money or whatever, right? It's come back like, dude, it's not going to waste your mom's not going to judge you. In fact, she's going to be like jealous that you're not doing it. So this is the cool thing. We actually have a referral program. You sign up 3 of your friends, this becomes free for you. Do you realize that? So not only like can you help them not die, like we can actually, I don't know. You help get 3 of these people, your carpets become free. Do you want your carpets done for free? 3 people. Who are 3 people you actually love and you care about? Okay, your mom, your sister, your brother, your dentist, your pastor, like whatever. Cool, let's call them on the phone. I'm going to help clean their carpets too. Save their lives. You will like literally save them from certain death and then whatever, right? And now it's like, oh, cool, they're not going to judge me. They're going to be grateful for this. Now it's like, boom, 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 domino falls. They have to give you money, okay? So, and then you come back, and after the dominoes fall, then you have to make an offer. Okay, this is where we all get scared. And it's so funny, and I'll talk about this as I kind of break down my thing. We'll get somebody to believe something, and then we have to ask them for money. And this is where people like, dude, they all freak out, right? How many of you guys feel that sometimes? Like, I don't want to ask for money. It's interesting, like, I went to a MLM home party. My wife gets invited to them all the time, and I love going to them because it's just fun. So I show up, ask Colette, I'm like, can I go with you? She's like, don't you want to watch the kids? I'm like, no, I really want to watch this. Like, this is like, for me, like the best thing in the world. So I go to this meeting, there's like, 12 women in a room, and me in the back, like with my notepad taking notes as they're going through it. And the ladies up front doing the pitch, and it's an oil company, so they're trying all these essential oils, and they're smelling it, and they're drinking it, and they're rubbing behind their ears, and their fingers, and their feet, and all the stuff that essential oil people do, right? And it's really, really cool, and it's fun, and like the lady up front is just like on fire. She was super, super good, and as it gets down to the end of the hour, I see her as she starts to transition to the pitch, and it starts with her talking faster and faster, and then her face turns red, and then sweat starts beating up on her face, and then she went and she asked for money. Very, very proud of her. And then second she backpedaled and apologized and then told everyone like 15 reasons why they don't have to buy, but if they want to, they can. And then she ended, and then she ran home. I was just like, oh, like we all get scared to make the offer. And you have to understand, first off, if you've done your job right, you told these stories in a way that you followed this process, the script, all kinds of stuff. By the time this thing is done, they are begging you to help them. They are in so much pain. They've realized, like this process, it takes the problem and it agitates it, right? And it amplifies it. Like if you do it right, like this whole thing is you're taking what their problems are and you're finding it, you're agitating, you're amplifying it. So by the time this is done, there's like, holy crap, I do need that. How many of you guys at the end of the session yesterday were like, oh, like I need that. I need to be part of that. Okay, because I'm taking the problem that you have, I'm agitating it, and I'm amplifying it through the stories. So the end of it, like they're in pain. And if you leave that point, like, well, see you guys, and you walk away, oh my gosh, like you just did the worst thing possible for them. Like you have to make them an offer. How do you do that? And that's what the stack is. You guys saw me do a stack right here yesterday. We kind of go through here's the offer. You're gonna get this and this and this and this, and you kind of go through the offer, right? And that's how you get people out of pain, and that's how you serve them at the highest level. And so that's the part where don't be scared. And I'll show you guys how I do my transition. But it's really simple. Did you notice like every time I shift from like this portion of my presentation to the selling portion, I always ask for permission. It's a key. Like when you understand this, it's huge. Like, because a lot of us are like, I don't want people to think that the whole thing is a sales pitch, and it's not. It's about breaking belief patterns, first off, so they understand what the result that they're going to get, that is possible. And then you transition. So I always say, hey, you guys okay if I put together a really special offer to help you to get this? Are you okay if I spend 5 minutes kind of going through it real quick? And everybody says yes so far. No one's ever told me no. They're like, oh yeah, sure, definitely, go for it, man. If I'm in a seminar room and I got like 3,000 people in the room, I do the whole thing and then I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool, right? Well, are you okay if I spend maybe 5 minutes going through a special offer I created for you guys to help make this process even easier? And everyone says yes. If they don't say yes, then I stop and I'm like, if you don't want it, like, I already know how to do this stuff. I can just go. And they're like, no, please do. Like, it's just so simple. And then you transition and then they're waiting for the offer and it's not awkward. That lady in the home party meeting, when she got done with everyone rubbing oils everywhere, all she had to do is like, you guys like this stuff? If you want, are you okay if I spend 5 minutes going through a special offer with you that's going to help you so you can use this stuff at home? And everyone in the room been like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And then she wouldn't have felt awkward. And it's like, cool. They all just told me that they have my permission to make them an offer. Okay, that's how I always transition everyone in my presentations. You'll notice it over and over and over again. So that's kind of the key here. All right, so that's how I did it. Was that pretty good for a carpet cleaner?
Yeah.
All right. Whew. It's weird not having a huge audience here, people yelling and screaming. All right. Okay, well that's, I'll just do that one because that took about 30 minutes, but hopefully that helps you guys to kind of see like this works for anything. If you're a financial planner, come back to here. Why did you become a financial planner? Because I wanted to make money. No, you didn't. There was a reason. What was that reason? Okay, come back. Remember. Go back in time. Go back in and figure out like what was the reason you picked that. Okay, there's something that happened that got you excited to go on this thing. And if there was nothing, if you just picked it completely because you wanted to get rich and stuff like that, first off, like you got to find a better reason why. Okay, You're going to continue to struggle to get people to change and get a result if the only reason why you're doing it is because of money. Okay, I spent the first 3 or 4 years of this business trying to make money. And guess what happened? I was like stuck. There's something weird about that. Zig Ziglar said, if you spend all your, I'm going to screw up his quote, but if you help everybody else in the world get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. When I transitioned away from trying to make money to like, how can I actually get people that result? Because I wanted that, I got it. How do I get them that result? And you shift to that, then everything will shift. And so like if you're struggling with this because you're like, there's nothing that happened that got me excited. I woke up one day and now I'm a carpet cleaner. Like, time to get excited about this thing. Okay, there's really, like, carpet cleaning, how boring is that? Like, did I light it up for you guys? Like, I'm excited about carpet cleaning now. Like, it's there, you just gotta look for it. A lot of times people come to me and they're like, I'm trying to create an offer and I can't figure out the right, like, it's just boring. And half is just figuring out the right hook. Like, what's the hook? Like, why is carpet cleaning exciting? Like, there's a reason why it is. And if you can't find any reason, then find a new business. But I promise you, it's there. And so if you ask any of my inner circle members when they first come in and we're first trying to initially find their hooks and stuff, it's like me asking a lot of questions like, well, why did you do that? Why? What's your story? What's your reasoning? Why were you excited? I had someone recently who came in after the Fun Hacking Live, and they're a weight loss couple, super cool people, and but they were never overweight. They're skinny, like they're healthy people, and I was like, well, why'd you get weight loss? And they're like, oh, and like I'm trying to figure out like, did you guys lose weight? And they're like, no. I'm like, what? And it took me forever, and I kept asking. I think they were probably annoyed because I'm like, well, why did you do that? Why? And I kept asking why, and they kept like, telling me all these like things that weren't exciting. And finally they said something like, well, this one day I read this book by this doctor, and on page 36 he said this. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got the hook. Like, thank you, that is it. Like, as soon as you figure that out, then you can build something around that, but you got to find out what that hook is. John Carlton, one of the greatest living copywriters, I was listening to him back, 10 or 11 years ago, and he was talking about how he had this, there's a golfing product that he was hired to write the sales letter for, and he was trying and it wasn't working, and like it wasn't converting, couldn't make it to work very good. He kept asking it, like, why did you create this product? Like, what's the reason? What's the purpose? And the guy like couldn't remember or something, and he kept like, well, because it helps people, shave off strokes off their golf swing or whatever those things are. And he kept like going back and forth, and finally the guy was like, well, the first time I ever tried this technique, I was actually at a golf course, and there was this golfer, and he had one leg. Because of one leg, like the way he had to hop, like the angle or whatever happened, and it changed everything. And so I started trying to do that, and I realized that by shifting my hips a certain way, it shifted, whatever, I don't golf. So it did something way better, and it was awesome. And so Carlton was like, that's the hook. The one-legged golfer is like the key. And so like the ad was like the one-legged golfer, whatever. And from that blew up a huge business. So it's like finding those hooks, like looking at your business from different set of eyes, like what gets this thing exciting? Is it your story? Is it the reason? Is it what does it do? Like just keep asking and digging until you find that, and then you can make it light up and make it become real and exciting when you look at it through this lens here. Okay? I hope that helps. Again, any business we can do this. If you sat in this room, which most of you should if you're coming to the FAT event, we'll sit in this room and we'll figure that thing out. Like, what is that thing? What is it for you? And kind of go through and try to figure it out. All right. Okay, what I'm doing now then is I want to kind of break down. So when we did this, we purposely, I didn't want to spend a ton of time creating this whole presentation yesterday because I wanted to do it on the fly because that's how sometimes you guys can do it. So in the Expert Secrets book, yesterday's presentation about the big domino, this is like probably a third of the book going through the big domino. In fact, if you break down the book, the first section is all about like building the mass movement, right? So attractive character, the cause, all those kind of things there. Then the second section is all about this, like the big domino. And then from there, we transition into actually creating the presentation. So there's probably, 30% of the pages in here are like going slide by slide by slide, creating the presentation. And so in a perfect world, what I recommend doing is actually creating a PowerPoint slide presentation. When you come to the FAT event here in Boise, for 3 days, that's what we do. Like everyone's here with computers with their slides open, and we go slide by slide by slide by slide. So at the end of it, your entire slide deck is done for the perfect webinar. And you can literally plug any product in. And what's cool about it is like, if you're going through and you're like, slide number 22, like, I'm a dentist, how does this work for me? We're like, oh, we'll try this. And we go through and everyone gets all the slides done. That's one of the things we do here. But I would recommend everyone doing it initially through PowerPoint slides. Because the first times you do it, like you have to understand the flow and the process and get good at telling your stories. Yesterday I talked about giving yourself a raise every day. Like one of the things that we talk about here, I talk about in the inner circle, is like when somebody comes in and they start this thing, like I always tell them, like, you need to do a webinar a week, every single week until you made $1 million. And they're like, anyway, it's so funny. So what happens, like they'll go through, they build a webinar, they'll launch it, they do the first webinar, and they always message me, Russell, it bombed, it didn't work. I'm like, I know, it never works the first time. What did you learn? Export all the questions, make some changes, change the PowerPoint slides, get it tweaked out, and then do it again, and then do it again, and do it again, and do it every single week until you've made $1 million. And what happens typically is they'll do it 4 or 5 weeks, and all of a sudden it'll work. They'll be making a bunch of money, and they'll do that for 2 or 3 weeks. And the first thing they do, they come back to me like, cool, Russell, I got it done. I'm going to put on an auto webinar, and then I want to make my next funnel. And I'm always like, no, you're not allowed to do your next funnel until you made at least $1 million. I want you in the 2 comma club before you build funnel number 2. Okay? Remember we talked about yesterday, like the what and the how. Like you have to figure out what it is you're selling and how you're selling it. And the best way to do that is to force yourself to stand up on a stage every single week until you made $1 million, doing it over and over and over again. Your pitch will become better and better. Your stories will become better. The flow will become better. And so for everyone, I say, like, the first goal is like building out the entire slide deck and having that, and then doing it every single week. Picking it. It could be for you. It could be Wednesday night, Thursday night, whatever. But you do it live every single week until you made at least $1 million. And $1 million, then you can go and you can automate it. I will give you permission at that point. But until it's made $1 million, don't automate it. Okay? I didn't automate any of the funnel hacks one for ClickFunnels until after we made $10 million. Okay, so I was 10xing what I'm requiring you guys to do. So I practice what I preach. I'm not just saying this kind of thing. This is what you have to do, right? So you do it consistently over and over and over again, which will get you into the 2 comma club. Like that's it. If you spend a year doing that, you'll figure out the what and the how. You'll master the presentation. You'll figure out exactly what they want, how they want it, and you'll build a big audience from that process. You'll be in 2 comma club, and then you can kind of transition. Okay, one of my favorite case studies, and we've got. I talk about them in this book quite a bit because there's a lot of people out there who listen to stuff I say, and there's a few people who are really good at just executing on everything. And I think some of the best are Brandon and Caitlin Poland. So they're in the fitness space. And it's interesting because they didn't join the Inner Circle right away. They tried. They were in a network marketing company, and then they got out of it. And they messaged me trying to join Inner Circle, and they couldn't afford it. And they're like, they sent a little video. I asked them to try to find that video. They texted me a video. I can't find it anywhere. But it's like, they were basically saying like, look, this is the deal. We want to join, but we can't. But we're going to become your biggest success stories. And they're all excited, right? And so that was 2 years ago. A year later, they were at Fun Hacking Live. And they came up and they said, hey, Russell, guess what? Right now we're doing 80 grand a month. I'm like, you're doing 80 grand a month? And they're like, you remember us? And I was like, anyway, it took me a minute. And I was like, wait, you're the ones that texted me a year ago, right? And they're like, yeah, that's us. And I'm like, well, how did you do it? And they said, we listened to your podcast, and you told us, do a webinar every single week until you made $1 million. So we've done a webinar every single week. I'm like, every week? She's like, every week we've done one. I think it was like 38 or 48 weeks of the time. Every single week they'd done it. I was like, holy cow, like nobody does that. I tell people that 2 years in a row on New Year's. This is 2 years in a row. I tell everyone, this is the model for the next 12 months. Create a presentation and do it every single week for the next 12 months. And if you do that, you'll figure out the what and the how, what people want and how to sell it. You will master your presentation skills. You'll understand your stories. You'll understand your market. You keep tweaking and tweaking and get better and better and better. And then this asset will take you to wherever you want to go. But the other thing, not just the presentation asset, but your skill set will become really, really good. Okay? And so what's interesting is after and I've done my presentation so many times, right? Like I could start the Funnel Hacks presentation right now with my eyes closed and give you word for word without any single slides. That's how many times I've done it. Okay? And no, I did not automate it till way later, right? All right, so the reason I'm telling you that is the first thing for you is to like master it through slides because it's the key to understanding it and doing it consistently until it's perfect. After you have done that, then there's a chapter in here. So secret number 17, if you haven't read it, this is the perfect webinar model. This is where I talk about that, going through, and here's the model. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're promoting. Thursday, you do live webinar. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, replays. Urgency, scarcity, close it down. Next week, you start the show over again. And that's the model right here. So page 217, if you have the book, there you go. That is the model. Then from there, after we got that figured out, then there's a chapter in here called, let's see, Secret 19, page 238 is called the Perfect Webinar Hack. So what the Perfect Webinar Hack is what I did yesterday, okay? Where I didn't go and build all the slides, all the presentations. The story behind this, the very first time I did it, one of my friends was running an affiliate contest for his webinar platform, and I told him I was going to promote it, but then things happened, I ran out of time. And I remember the grand prize was $50,000 BMW. And there was like 3 or 4 days left in the contest. All these affiliates have been promoting for like 2 or 3 weeks. Everyone's killing it. And he's like, hey, you're going to be able to promote or not? And I was like, I don't have time. I was going to try to write a webinar or something to try to sell it, and like I didn't have time. And then he's like, dude, like, don't you want a new car? I'm like, no, I really don't. Like, I don't really care about cars. And then I was like, well, how much is the car worth? He's like, well, it's the car or $50,000. And I was like, well, I don't really want the car or $50,000, but I really want a cryo sauna. I've been begging my wife for one. She told me no. It's a ridiculous thing to actually purchase. But I was like, but if I want it, she would have to let me have it. And so if you guys know what a cryo sauna is, if you go to Funnel Hacker TV, you can watch funnelhacker.tv, go watch behind the scenes episode number 3, you see me in it. But it's this big, huge freeze tank. You open it up and you get inside, you push a button, it drops the temperature down to negative 220 degrees. And it's really, really cool and nerdy and awesome. So I wanted one, right? So I was like, well, Mike, how about this? If I win, you have to give me the cryo sauna, because my wife will have to let me have it if I win it, right? He's like, you are so weird. I'm like, sweet, I'm in. So I was like, okay, and I literally, like, as soon as I got off the phone with him, I was like, okay, I don't have time to do a webinar. I don't have, like, to catch up and to beat everyone, I've got like a little tiny window. And so I stood in front of a whiteboard and I said, okay, if I want someone to believe, what's the one thing they have to believe? I sat down and thought through that. And then I wrote it on a whiteboard. And on page 242, you can see actually a screenshot from this presentation. So I wrote right here, and this is I spent literally 10 to 15 minutes writing this whole thing, and then we went live. So I was like, how to make at least 8 figures the next year with this webinar model. Wrote that on the whiteboard, and I was like, okay, cool. So what is their false beliefs about the vehicle? I'm like, their false beliefs is that whatever. So then I wrote, okay, secret number 1 is this, and I wrote secret number 1. What's their false internal beliefs? Secret number 2. And so I wrote those 3 things down, and that's okay, I need to make it an offer. So I wrote down the offer slide, and I wrote down, here's what they're going to get if they buy through my affiliate link. I said, okay, here we go, guys. And I'm like, okay, go grab, we had a phone for Periscope and a phone for Facebook Live. We clicked go on it. I was like, hey, everyone, welcome to today's Facebook Live and Periscope thingy. All right, today we're going to talk about, here's the headline. All right, and I talked about that. I told my origin story. I said, okay, next thing's right here. Told my second story. Here, story number 3. Boom. Story number 4. Asked permission. Did my stack. Boom. In the next 3 days before the contest ended, we sold $250,000 worth of Mike's program. I won the cryo sauna, and now I got a cryo sauna at my house, which is so awesome, right? Now, what's even cooler is while I am doing that, so I am literally doing this thing live, and most people will be looking at that and be like, wow, Russell, that's really, really cool. But not Brandon and Kaylin. While I was doing this, she's like, oh my gosh, I get it. I'm going to do the same thing right now. And so this is right here happened the same day. It looked like they'd been preparing this for years. They're like sitting there writing their thing while they're watching mine. They're writing the stuff on the whiteboard, putting the things down. She had little pieces of paper she wrote her secrets on. And as soon as I got done with mine, they opened up their phone, clicked go on theirs, and they did the perfect webinar hack as well for their program and crushed it. They're over, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about the numbers. Did I mention it here? Maybe I can do it if I talked about it here. Anyway, they did the first time, and what's cool about this webinar hack, a couple things. Well, first off, she did the webinar, same thing, I did the webinar, and when it's done, it doesn't just end. Now in Facebook, it becomes a post that you can promote. So John on my team does my Facebook ad. As soon as it was done, he's like, okay, cool, let's promote this thing to everyone who's been interested in webinars, all these different audiences, and start growing it. And that's why we got sales for the next 3 days. So Kaylin and Brandon did the same thing. They did the webinar, they pitched it, and then that video became an asset, and they started driving traffic to that thing, and it started growing, and from that they were able to get, I think they did a couple $100,000 off that one. And then it started dying. So then they went back and they redid it a couple months later. She did the perfect webinar hack again live. From that one, they ended up getting like 3 or 4 million people to watch it. From that, they ended up doing, this is last November, I think it was like $650,000 in sales, something crazy like that in November. And then after a while, like it started getting fatigue and started not working as good. And then right before Funnel Hacking Live, they did another one, and that one did $1 million in a month. Okay, and the $1 million is cool, but what's even cooler is like, that brings in 500 new women a day into their programs. They can help and they can serve and they can do things like that. Okay? And so the perfect webinar hack is cool, but it's hard to do this first off because at first you don't know your stories, you don't understand anything. But after you've mastered your presentation, like this is one of the most amazing things in the world. Because think about like a regular webinar, like the positives of webinars, it gives you a chance to practice in front of slides and do it over and over again and perfect your presentation, your pitch, your close, all those kind of things without you being live on camera. That's why I say do it every single month, or every single week until you made $1 million. And the time you've done that every single week for $1 million, you'll know your stories, you'll feel comfortable, like all those kind of things. Because doing it live on front of camera is nerve-wracking. It's way harder, right? Like it was like yesterday I was nervous and I'm like, hey, I'm live. And I'm trying to remember my stories. I hadn't told these stories in that order before, and it was just kind of a funny thing. But that's what the perfect webinar hack is. So yesterday, excuse me, the night before, so after day one, we sat down and said, okay, let's again, I didn't want to prepare this fast. I wanted to show you guys how the perfect webinar hack works. And so we sat down, a couple of them in the office. I was like, hey, if people are going to join our 2 Comma Club coaching program, what is the big domino? What do we have to get everybody to believe? Okay? And I said, well, what are their fears? And like, what keeps people right now from taking those steps forward? What's holding them back? And we kept talking about it. And finally, if we can get people to believe that this group of people is the key, right? If they can hang out with a whole bunch of people that made $1 million through a funnel, if we get them to believe that they're in that group, then they're going to join. Like if they can see that, okay. So I'm like, well, how do we articulate that in something that's exciting? And so there's a lot of ways to do different headlines. The most simple, my favorite one that we talk about in the Expert Secrets book is how to blank whatever they desire the most without blank whatever they have the most fear about. So I just did a simple headline. So how to, and then what do people desire most? Get into the 2 Comma Club in the next 12 months, right? Like, how many guys, if you get in the 2 Comma Club next 12 months, would freak you out? You could tell your mom, your sister, your old school teachers, your principal, your babysitter, like everyone throughout your life who told you were a failure. If you could tell them, hey, I made a choice to get in the 2 Comma Club, and within a month I was a millionaire. How does that feel? Ask Dan Henry when he decided, he started and 5 months later made $1 million. How does that feel? How would that feel to go back to your friends and your family members and people who doubted you and didn't believe you, your old bosses, your job, like to be able to come back and be like, hey, guess what? I'm a millionaire. How does that feel? I remember when I was learning this whole stuff, I was working at a painting company, and I was so excited. I would be painting next to these guys, and I'd be telling them, like, dude, I learned about email and this, and I tell them all these stories, because I'm so excited, and as I'm telling everybody, every time I come into work, and they're like, hey, Russell, you a millionaire yet? I'm like, screw you, dude. I was so mad, and like, oh, so frustrated, and then, now what do I tell them? Yeah, we did $1 million yesterday. Screw you, right? How good does that feel? So that's what they desire most. So how to finally get in the 2 Comma Club in the next 12 months, like, oh, how would that feel for you? Okay, but what's the fear? Okay, well, you've been trying. This is not your first time, right? You've tried, you've fallen in this gap over and over and over. Like, there's things that have kept you from doing that over and over and over again, right? Like, what was it for you? Was it you ran out of time, you ran out of money, you got a lot of focus, you tried this, shiny object syndrome. Like, for you, there was some reason why you fell in this gap over and over and over again, right? Like, that's your fears. Like, I can try again. What if I fail again? Oh, I don't want to fail again. Okay? So that's the without the fear of falling into the gap again. Here's what you desire most without what you fear most. That's the title of my presentation. And if I can get you to believe that, then you're going to come here, right? So then I'm like, well, what's my origin story? What got me to believe this? Okay, if you guys watched yesterday, what was my origin story? Boom, 2 Comma Club. John Reese. Like, that's what got me to believe I could do this. And as soon as I believed that, I was there. Boom, that fast. Is that interesting? So I told my origin story about John Reese and 2 Comma Club and how I did that, and then I became a millionaire that fast. As soon as I shifted my focus and my belief and got in the right group of people, I was a millionaire. It wasn't that hard. Okay, so tell the origin story. And some of you guys, that was it. You're like, sweet, I'm joining 2 Comma Club coaching, Russell, where do I go? And you're like, like in the comments, like, where do I sign up, right? Because some of you guys, the initial epiphany bridge was all you needed, and you were in. Okay? The smartest ones. Okay, then I was like, okay, so after I do this, I tell the origin story. The first group of fast movers, like, I'm in, let's go. They're signing up and they're ready to rock and roll. But then, what happens to most of us? We hear that and all of a sudden the fear starts coming in. Like, okay. Like, you get all excited during my initial story. Like, I could do that. You visualize, you visualize yourself, man, I could, God, John Reese made $1 million a day. His goal is $1,000 a month at a time. Then he went to the point where he made $1 million in a year, and then a month, and then a week, and then a day. God, like, could I do that? God, you get all excited for a second, right? But as soon as you do that, then all of a sudden the other voice starts coming in. Oh, well, you can't do that. You've tried it before in the past. You're not that smart. Russell's way smarter than you. Seriously, guys. If that voice is telling you that, you're wrong. All these voices start coming in, right? All these fears. So then I'm like, okay, we talk about the vehicle. So first off, they have to understand the vehicle. The way they're going to do that is by doing a webinar a week. Giving yourself a raise every single day by focusing on driving traffic and doing a webinar, right? And so this one, when I taught this one, just so you guys know, like, it felt clunky for me. So if and when I redo this as a webinar, I will transition this because I didn't like how I did this. But you didn't know that till you do it live, right? That's why it's important to do it every single week. If I would have automated this once, I would I would have been stuck with this thing that was a halfway sales presentation. So I didn't love the way I did this, but conceptually I like that. If I can help people understand the model of how they're getting to Comma Club, that's the vehicle. Okay? Next time I do this presentation, I will simplify what I taught here, and I will just talk about, here's the model. A webinar a week, every single week. Boom, boom. And I'd tell my story, I'd tell Kaylin's story, I would tell, I could tell like 10 different people's stories. Like I would talk about the model. This is the model. This is the model. Ringing the drum. Like this is it. Boom, boom, boom. So everyone's saying, okay, that's the goal to give myself a raise every day. This is how we do it, right? Now they believe in the vehicle. Sweet. That's awesome. There's the model. I can do that. I believe it. But the next thing is like, well, I've tried in the past. I did a webinar. Didn't work. I didn't have ad money to run webinars. Like all these like internal things start freaking them out, right? Because they believe it. They believe that 2 Comma Clubs they want. They believe that this model works. But I don't know if I can make it work. I'm not that good at these kind of things. I get nervous behind a camera. I want to talk. Like all these fears, right? So okay, now we understand. Like you're literally just one funnel away. Like you can do it, you guys. The thing. It was some dude I just interviewed, sitting on my hard drive for like 3 years, and I was like, I wonder if people want this. And they did. I didn't know that, but if I didn't make a whole bunch of offers, I never would have known that. So for you guys, it's the same thing. You don't know what it is yet, but you're literally one funnel away. It might be this one, it might be the next one. I don't know which one it is, but if you keep doing this, it's going to happen. And so when you join the 2 Comma Club coaching program, every single week, you're going to be launching this offer. And just keep tweaking and changing, and eventually, one of these iterations will hit. And when it hits, it's not a short thing. It's not like, okay, cool, now in the next 5 to 12 years I'll become a millionaire. No, when it hits hard and hits fast. And I'll tell you stories about Justin and Tara, how they have worked for them, and this one. I tell all these things, all of a sudden you're like, wow, maybe I'm not good enough now, but if I follow this model every single week, eventually it's going to get better and better and better, and eventually that will hit, and as soon as it hits, boom, it's done. Okay? So now it's like, I've got them to believe the 2 Comma Club is the key. Got them to believe that the model works for them. Got them to believe they could actually do it. And the external is like how do I like the other things, right? Like the external is even if I could do it, like what else could keep me back? Okay, a lot of times it's like your peer group, it's your friends, it's the people who know you. It's funny because I grew up in Utah and I moved to Boise, and I love my friends in Utah. Like, hopefully they're watching this. Like I still like miss those guys so much. But I came up here. It was interesting because I left all of them and I was in a new peer group and no one knew who I was. And so because of that, like I started just doing things I wouldn't have done there because they would have made fun of me. And it was kind of, it's just weird. And so then, and as in this new environment, I was able to grow and flourish, have all sorts of success. And so when I go back now to those guys, and it's hard. Like I miss them, but it's always kind of weird hanging out with them. I'm like, oh, it's like the people who grow up around you, they know you, they know all your mistakes and the things that you're dumb at. They know the fact you barely graduated from school. They know all the different issues, and so it's hard. And so a lot of times your peer group is the thing that's holding you back. So the external is the peer group. So if I come back here and say, look, secret number 3, the second million is way easier. Okay? And what's cool is you got this huge peer group. People have already done it. Like imagine if you get rid of your friends who think you're an idiot. You come out here, these friends here who think you're awesome because you're part of the club. Like this becomes your social group. Now it's like you're bringing people up. Now it's not that hard, right? And so I hope that you replace your peer group with people who believe in you, who know you. Then it becomes easy. Now there's no external influences holding you back. There's not people talking down about you. There's not the people judging you. It's just these people who believe in you. Because I don't know about you, but I know you can get in the 2 Comma Club. I've seen people way less smart than you who are in the 2 Comma Club right now. Okay, it's not about brains. It's not about anything like that. It has to do with just following the process. Finding an offer, figuring out the what and the how, and kind of moving through that. So that's the third one. Boom. So at this point, what I've done, I've told my origin story, my vehicle, my internal, my external. I've gone through here, and for a big percentage of the people, the dominoes fallen. Boom. They're like, I need to be part of this. Like, I'm in. Okay? And as soon as they're in, now what do I do? I ask their permission. All right. Now, for those of you guys who want this, you want to transition from one funnel away to 2 Comma Club, this is what I'm going to do. I want you guys to join me or excuse me, are you okay if I spend a few minutes and just kind of explain to you a special offer we created so you can be in the 2 Comma Club with us? Sorry, I slowed down there. So we asked for permission, and then everyone says yes. Okay, if you saw the comments yesterday, yes, tell us about it. We want to be in the 2 Comma Club. Ask for permission, and then there's no awkwardness. I'm like, cool, so here's a special offer we made for you. Okay, and then I come back to what we talked about day number 1. And I say, okay, here is the offer I created for you to get you this result that you all want. Okay, we've been here for 60 minutes. I know your result you want. You want this. You want to be in 2 Comma Club. You want to lose weight. You want to make money. You want whatever your thing is, right? You want clean carpets. You want clean teeth. You want start your own dental practice. Like, here's the result. We talked about this. You want this. I know how to get you there. Are you cool if I spend a few minutes and go through a special offer I created to help get you to there, to that result you want? You cool with that? Everyone cool with that? All right, cool. So this is what we're going to do. Here's a special offer I created for you. Now all the nervousness and awkwardness goes away because they just told you, please tell me what you have to sell me. Sweet. This is what I got for you. And then you go through here. Okay? Now this is the first time I've ever done a double stack, which is 2 different offers. So for me it was a little clunky. I don't like that. Typically I only sell one thing on a webinar. I recommend for most shows only to do that. But because we had just 2 variations, anyway, it is what it is. But then you do the stack. So the way the stack works is you go through each of the pieces. Now a couple things. You'll read when you read the Expert Secrets book, it goes deep into how to do it. But a couple things you're going to screw up on. Because you as the educator, you're so excited. You're going to be like, all right, I'm going to create all this stuff. I want to show them everything I'm going to do. So you would go, here is my 8 core modules. And then you'd be like, okay, module number 1. And you spend 20 minutes talking about how cool it is. Module number 2. And you spend like a year going through all this crap and trying to explain to them why this is so cool. As soon as you start doing that, you will lose sales. They will fall through your fingers. Because as you go deeper and deeper into all this stuff, people will get stressed out. They think it's a lot of work. Their minds start wandering, and then you lost them. Okay? I need some kind of intrigue so they don't really know, but they desire. I need curiosity and desire in the offer. So I'm going to go through the Secrets MasterClass 8 core modules, and I try to create some desire and curiosity. And I don't do that by explaining everything that's in it. By explaining everything that's in it, I take the curiosity and the desire out. Okay, so as I explained, so look, this is what happened. Stephen Larson over here, he went through the last 12 years of every one of my trainings and figured out how to put all those things in a chronological order. So you can go from, I'm a beginner right here who has done nothing ever. I don't have a product, I don't have a service, I have nothing, and I want to be here in the next 12 months. How do I do that? Okay? Well, this is the first video you need to watch, and then here's the worksheet to go with that. Here's the second video, here's the worksheet, here's the third, here's the worksheet, and then this Friday, jump on a call and I'll answer any of your questions. Cool, week number 1 done. You just took the first rung of the ladder, right? All right, week number 2. All right, what is your, week number 2, this is the next thing you gotta do. Watch this video, do this worksheet. Watch this video, do this worksheet. Watch this video, do the worksheet. Jump on Friday, ask your Q&As. Cool, you got it? All right, boom, next rung. All right, week number 3, and we go through after 8 weeks. After 8 weeks, you have all the foundation to come join us here in the 2 Comma Club. Okay? That's module number 1. Boom. So what I do, I didn't tell you everything inside of it, but I created desire and curiosity. Now you're like, God, I don't know what that is, but I want it so bad. Ah. How many of you guys want it, by the way? It's insane. Like, those who have, Inner Circle members have been going through it, everyone's like, I cannot believe what you guys put in here. And anyway, it was so much work on Steven's side, chronologically fit all these things together so that it actually makes sense. Anyway, it's pretty cool. So there's number 1. Number 2, the Spy for Profit Funnel Hacking 201. Okay, what is that? I don't know, but it sounds awesome. I know what it is, but I'm not going to go deep into, okay, module number 1 is this. Module number 2, because again, same thing, curiosity. So Funnel Hacking 101 is cool, helps you understand how to funnel hack a funnel. But Funnel Hacking 201, we're going deep into everything about the business. We're going to funnel hack their copy, their traffic sources, their ads, their demographics, everything. If you want to go from here's a high level understanding of funnel hacking to I'm going to become a ninja that can literally destroy anything, any business I want to go into, that's what this will give you. And it is amazing. All right, number 3, how many of you guys get stuck? And so anyway, go through the offer like this: accountability calls, discussion groups, 2 Comma Club, then I make the offer. Okay, that's how the stack works. I won't go super deep into the stack slide because it's in the Expert Secrets book, but I learned this originally from Armin Morin. You look at the way a lot of stage presenters and webinar people do it is they'll talk about their offer, okay, I got the MasterClass, they talk about this, they give it value, and then they talk about the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and then at the end of it, they're like, all right, here's the price, and they give you the price. And the human mind can only hold one thought at a time, right? We think we can multitask, but it's crap, we can't. Okay, it's like we can only shift from thing to thing to thing to thing. So what happens is you talk about this and this and this and this and this, and then you share the price, and your mind's like, they look at the price, and the only thing they associate to is the very last thing you shared with them. So if I would have pitched you and been like, it's only $2,000, you'd have been like, wait, is that worth $2,000 to me? You're like, I don't know if it is. That's a lot of money, right? And so the stack, the way it works is, if you see me do through PowerPoints, it's like I stack it every single time. So I'm like, so that means you're going to get this, 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 and this. And so what happens is then you associate the entire thing with the price. Okay? And then same thing here, I do the same thing here. After I show the value of the price, then we have this really cool thing called if-all statements. I learned from David Van Hoos. If-all statement is that if I come here to like total value is $12,000, I need you to believe that this actually is worth whatever the big thing is. Big mistake people do is they build up the value of something like, oh, but don't worry, I'm not going to charge you 10 grand, it's only going to be 1,000, and they freak out and they get all nervous. It's like, no, this is worth $10,000. This is worth $40,000. If I make you a freaking millionaire, in the next 12 months, would you give me $40,000? Dude, this is totally worth $40,000. Like, you're insane if you don't think it is. So I need to get you to understand that this is worth $40,000 or that this is worth $12,000. Okay, don't wuss out and be like, oh, it's not really worth that. Like, it is. And so you have to spend some time doing it. So the way I share the price and they say, no, look, I'm not going to charge you $40,000, but I have a question for you. This is what we do if-all statements, at least 3. If all that this did was make you a millionaire in the next 12 months, would it be worth $40,000? Yes. If all that this did was help to get your message out to more people so you could change the world and leave your legacy on the world, would it be worth $40,000? Yes. If all that this did was give you the ability to come to Boise, Idaho and hang out with me for 3 days, would it be worth $40,000? Some people say yes, some people say no. Anyway, my goal is going to say yes 3 times. Yes, Russell, it is worth this. Yes, yes, yes. I said yes 3 times. Now in their mind, they're like, it's actually worth $40,000. So now when I come back and say, look, I'm not going to charge you $40,000. What I'm going to do for you today is we're going to charge you this. It's like, oh, because I know it's worth 40, but 14, like 15 grand? 15 grand to go through 12 years of your life, Russell, in chronological order with a coach who sits next to you every single day, get all my questions answered, rung by rung by rung by rung by rung. So then within the next 12 months, I have the potential to be here. But even if I'm not here in 12 months, I have this peer group of people who are going to continually be pulling me up to get there. And you're telling me that's only $14,997? And I'm going to come to Boise and hang out with you here at the ClickFunnels headquarters? All right, I'm in. And then we come back. And after we've gotten the price, then we do some closes and justifications and we tell stories, okay? And this comes back to just good storytelling. I have a whole bunch of like closes that are in the book because people like those kind of things. But the reality is it comes back to like telling good stories. Okay, a couple, like I didn't use this close yesterday, but like one of my closes I use a lot of times is a story from my wrestling coach. So I wrestled my first year at Brigham Young University, and at BYU my head coach is named Mark Schultz. And if you see the movie Foxcatcher, Coach Schultz was, it's a movie about him and his brother. John DuPont murdered his brother in real life, and that's kind of the movie. And Channing Tatum, how do you say that guy's name? Channing Tatum, I can never say his name, played my coach, right? So if you see the movie, that's my coach. And my coach is like this tall, strongest man on earth. He started wrestling as a junior in high school and 7 years later won the Olympics. I think the shortest winner for someone starting and winning an Olympic title in any sport in the world, maybe. Maybe it's just wrestling. I don't know. The dude is like an animal. He went into the UFC. He was helping a guy train for the UFC. The guy broke his hand the night before. So they called my coach. Like, hey, do you want to fight tomorrow? He's like, I've never fought UFC. They're like, who cares? You're Mark Schultz. He's like, all right. Came in and beat the crap out of the dude. Just destroyed him. Like, he's probably the strongest man on planet Earth. Like, honestly. If you're going to pick somebody to not fight, it would be him. Okay? Of the 7 billion people on this earth. And so, anyway, so I'm wrestling at BYU. First 2 or 3 days I'm there. And then that night, I get a knock on my door. Open it up, and it's Coach Schultz. He's like, hey. I'm like, hey, man. My Olympic champ is sitting at my doorstep, like, totally geeking out. He's like, here you go. And I take this videotape from him, and the title on it said Total Violence by Mark Schultz. I was like, dude, this is awesome. Thank you. And he's like, give me your wallet. I was like, what? He's like, go get your wallet. Okay. So I go get my wallet. I come back, and I hand it to my coach. He opens it up. It's probably $12, but it was all the money I had. Takes it out of my wallet, puts it in his pocket, hands back the wallet. And I was like, too scared to like fight him on. But I'm like, hey, so what just happened? And he's like, well, I just gave you this DVD and you just paid me for it, or this VHS and you just paid me for it. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to teach you a lesson right now that'll serve you for the rest of your life. He's like, if I just would have given you that video for free, You're taking it, you put it on the shelf, you did nothing with it. He's like, but now you've invested in it. Because you've invested in it, you will watch that thing every single day, and you will become a better wrestler because of it. And then he left. And guess what I did after he left? I put the video in, I started watching it, and I started watching it over and over and over again. And same thing is for you. A lot of you guys are like, Russell, if this is so awesome, if you believe in it so much, why don't you just let me come for free, and if I make money, then I'll pay you. I could do that, but guess what's not going to happen? You're not going to get the result you need. Just like my coach taught me. So that's why we make you pay, because people who pay attention. Okay? And if $2,000 is a lot of money for you right now, then guess what? You need this more than anybody else. If $15,000 is out of your reach right now, you need this more than anybody else. You have to understand that. I was with Grant Cardone at his event, and after I spoke, we sold a $2,000 course at his thing. He's like, I'm going to get on stage afterwards and tell these people, first off, if you can't afford that, you need it more than anyone else. And second off, if you're broke and you can't afford it, he's like, dude, what's another $2,000 on your credit card? You're already broke. You're already paying the monthly payments. He's like, call your bank, up it, and go buy it. And I was like, it's a good point. If you're already broke, who cares about if you're more broke? Like, there's not, like, you're broke and you're broke. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is an investment that'll get you from broke to unbroke. So does it really hurt to go $2,000 deeper or $14,000 deeper? Not really. Okay? And it was kind of cool when he came on stage and yelled at everybody. I should find that video clip. It was really, really cool. I was like, that's so true. Right? So what I'm doing is I'm telling all these stories to help people to justify this, to help people to emotionally connect and logically be able to convince themselves. So I'm telling my Coach Schultz story. I'm telling Grant Cardone's story. I might tell Robert Kiyosaki's story about, if you've read Rich Dad, I'll slip in a story. So Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in that book, Robert Kiyosaki, he talked about how he said that there's two types of people. There's people that are poor and there's people that are rich. He said there's a different mindset between the rich and the poor. He says somebody who is poor will look at something like this and be like, oh crap, I can't afford that. That sucks. That would have been cool, but I can't afford it. Someone rich will look at that and say, huh, how can I afford that? If you look at the words, they're almost the same. They're not that much different. I can't afford that. How can I afford that? But when you say how, it shifts the question in your mind. You say, huh, how could I afford that? If I was going to do that, what would I need to do? Would I actually call my bank and ask for a bump on my credit limit? Maybe that's it. How can I afford that? Do I ask my parents? Do I ask my friends? Do I get a side job? Do I sell some crap in my garage on eBay? Like, how could I afford that? I remember the first time I brought into a program was $1,000. Imagine I was newly married, unemployed, my wife's making $9.50 an hour, and it was a $1,000 course. Okay, that was 1/12 of our annual income. Like, that's sad. That's really sad to think about now. But I was looking, I was like, how can I afford that? I have to get this if I want to transition from here to here. I knew that. It's like, how can I afford that? And so I went to Home Depot, I bought a $12 rake and like a $13 tarp. And I went, I knocked on a door, and I was like, hey man, can I rake your leaves? He's like, all right, how much? I'm like, I don't know, what's it worth to you? He's like, $25. I'm like, done. Rake, put them on the tarp, throw them in the back of a truck, and then we dumped them. Came back next house. Hey man, can I rake your leaves? Sure, how much does it cost? I don't know, what's it worth to you? I'll give you $100. Really? Yes, boom, boom, boom. And we did that, earned the money. I didn't earn the $1,000 I needed, but I earned enough to put the minimum monthly payment on my credit card for the thing. Boom. Okay, so there's like my Robert Kiyosaki story. Same thing, minimum monthly payment. So a lot of people are like, oh, I can't afford $2,000. I can't afford $14,000. I'm like, dude, that's the cool thing about this, right? Okay, so imagine this. You put this on your credit card. Visa and MasterCard finance this entire thing for you, or American Express or whatever, right? They put it on, you put it on the credit card. What happens? Nothing. No money came out of your bank account, right? Visa, MasterCard gave you the money sitting there. Now what's cool about this is you have 30 days before the first minimum monthly payment's due. 30 days. So what does that mean? That means you get started right here, you get done one rung in the ladder, and in 30 days the minimum monthly payment's due. So what's the minimum monthly payment on $2,000? $100? Can you afford $100 right now to get coached by the greatest people in the world for $100? Can you? If not, you should go get a side job, wait some tables, one night you can make $100, and take that money and you get coached by me, someone who's made more millionaires than anybody I know online, for $100, okay? Now, after you pay that $100, your minimum monthly payment, what happens next? You have 30 more days to get the next rung of the ladder, and in 30 more days, you think you'll make at least $100 with your new online business? Maybe. But what if you didn't? If you didn't, can you afford $100 to continue to get coached by the greatest coaches living right now? I don't know. If not, can you get a job? Can you the weekend go like walk someone's dog for $100? You go rake some leaves? Cool, you paid that, then what happened? You paid $100. Now you have 30 more days to keep going through this training. Okay? You're not paying $2,000 today, you're paying $100 a month until you're successful. And somewhere along this route, you're going to hit it. And at that point, you just pay it all off and you're free and clear. Okay? So you see, I'm telling stories. After I justify the price, I'm just telling stories over and over again so people understand, like, this isn't that much money. Okay? Some people are like, oh, that's a lot of money. But when you look at it that way, it's not that big of a deal. Right? So for you, it's like figuring out those stories. That's why I loved going to all these seminars and listening to people do their presentations. And I'm like, oh, that was cool. The way he told that story, I could use that. And I'm always looking for things like that over and over and over again. Okay? And same thing's true for you. So that is kind of the process. There's a little behind the scenes of how we did the perfect webinar hack. Was that cool for you guys to kind of see? Hopefully. I can't see everyone's. If you saw it was cool, give me some hearts or some stars or something. Yeah, go crazy. Cool. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a 10-minute break. And at the same time, I want you guys to know that the 2 Comma Club coaching program is open right now. It's going to be open until Sunday at midnight, which means right now for you guys, if you're still thinking about like, do I want to be a millionaire in the next 12 months? If that's like honestly something you're still thinking about and you haven't just jumped right in, go to 2commaclubcoaching.com, go get signed up. Like I said, we have a FAT event starting on Monday here, which means that group we're going to be taking through the experience that a lot of you guys are going to be experiencing with us. And so we're closing it down so we can focus on that group. And then right after that, we're going to start and spend the next 8 weeks going through with everybody, getting everyone prepared. And then those who come in at this level, at the end of it, you'll come to the 3-day event here as well. It's the next FAT event. So it's kind of cool. It gives you a chance to jump in right now. A couple other really cool things is that the training's already in there. We took the Inner Circle members through that. So you don't have to go wait till next week to get started. Like when you get signed up right now at 2commaclubcoaching.com, you'll jump in and you can start diving into these right away. And if you don't have a product yet, like that's the best time. Good, because module number 1 is going to help you figure out what market are you going to be in, why, what are you trying to sell, like all this stuff. If you look at the curriculum, like these are the 2 textbooks for the Secrets MasterClass. Okay, I think there's 35 secrets between these books, and we put them in chronological order. People always ask me, like, what books should I read first, this one or this one? And like, honestly, it's I wish if I could write this again, I'd be like, okay, chapter number 1 is this, then read chapter 2 and 3, then go back to chapter 5, and so that's kind of what we did inside of the Secrets Masterclass. Is it tells you, read this chapter of this book, watch these 6 videos, and fill out this worksheet. Okay, now you're going to read chapter this here, and then go back to this chapter, and then watch these 4 videos where Russell presented this to the Inner Circle, and then watch this right here. And then it kind of goes back and forth through that. So by the time it's done, you'll have you'll figure out your market, you'll figure out your offer, you'll figure out how to do all of this stuff. You got to find your voice, get the result, how to get the things. We're gonna figure out. Oh, sorry. How to create your irresistible offer, how to create the things, how to do the stack slide, like all the stuff you'll be going through. And those who come in at the $15,000 level, by the time you're done with the 8 weeks, then you're going to come here. And what's cool is we'll be hanging out and we'll be going slide by slide by slide by slide by slide by slide by slide. So by the end of the 3 days, you have your presentation done, finished, perfect, and ready to go for your weekly webinars. So that's kind of what's happening. I hope you guys take advantage of this. This is, again, I mentioned this yesterday, like this is something that's not for me. Everyone's like, oh, Russell's going to make more money. Like, seriously, the quality of my life will not change even a little bit when you get started in here. This is not about me at all. This is about you. If you know you want to go from here to here, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can keep going what you're doing, and eventually you might hit it, which is awesome. But I promise you, when you get around this group of people, you're going to hit it a lot faster. And that's kind of the goal of 2 Comma Club coaching. So with that said, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Bathrooms, drinks. When I come back, I'm going to show you guys the virtual book tour that we did that basically got us over 3 million views in 30 days of our book tour, and it's a really cool way to help. If you like, we did it with our book launch, but it's the same. You can do the same with webinar launches, everything to launch these funnels. It's one of the coolest new strategies. The other thing, I've had like probably 500 people message me asking me how they can get the recordings to this product, to the Expert Secrets Masterclass, because some of you guys missed day 1 or you missed day 2 or you're seeing different pieces of it. And so basically what's going to happen is we're pulling these all down because this is an actual product. We're going to be selling for $997. But those who get started in the 2 Comma Club coaching, we're going to edit these, clean them up, and we'll have them in the members area. The entire Expert Secrets Masterclass product will be in there. So you guys can go through that as well. That's the only way to get access to it right now. So that's the game plan. We'll see you guys back here in about 10 minutes.